Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of Outlander, Blood of My Blood, Episode 10, Something Borrowed. Yep, and this is the season finale, and sets us up for stuff that will be happening in Season 2, but after this, I'm good, because it took something that was kind of simple, and just kind of bloated it to something that it just really didn't need to happen. We didn't even really get Ryan and Ellen married in this episode. We didn't get them starting Lollybrock or anything like that. We actually got the Jacobite uprising pretty much happening at the end of this and just being like, alright, fine, we're redoing stuff with Outlander Season 1, I guess. Now, even though there were multiple Jacobite uprisings, but I just feel like when we're going through this, we're just executing it like the beginning of Outlander more than like its own kind of thing. It's mainly bulk taken up with Ellen's supposed marriage to Malcolm Grant, and then we get some stuff with Julia and Henry and everything kind of going on there. So let me hit that stuff, which takes up less time, but still kind of gets us into weird territory. So we also see Claire's birthday when she's like 2 years old, and we also get introduced to Lamb, Quentin, Lamb Beecham, Henry's brother. So it's like, oh, cool. And the funny thing is, I always think of him as older because of how Claire kind of talked it. When your brain goes faster than your mouth, when Claire talked about him, but he still kind of fits that kind of thing, toasting her and everything. The little girl was cute and kind of well behaved, even though she picked up the entire fucking cake herself. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna eat this shit, motherfucker. And I'm like, do I blame a kid for having like a cake set in front of them and being like, yeah, I'm gonna go for that shit? Nope. That's exactly what a kid does. Like, what the fuck is this thing? I'm gonna see what it is. Cutting it up and like, Lamb being like, you should have I hope you have really good adventures and shit like that. I'm like, yeah, she goes on some weird crazy ass shit. We then also see the whole kind of linking up of them. He was going to like a solicitor's kind of thing and having a weekend getaway, kind of similar to Claire and Frank, and Julia being like, yeah, we're gonna have another little kid, and it's like, oh, cool. And then of course setting us up with that kind of thing. So I don't know why this stuff was put in this episode. I mean, it's decently done and executed. I'm just like, okay, alright, what is this dealing with the other kind of shit? Now, showcasing off Lamb, that's kind of awesome. Kind of thinking that it could link up and that they'll do shit where Lamb can travel or whatnot. Kind of linking up with his kind of archaeological kind of ideas and all that. Being like, hey, I went back to the past, did this, let me kind of like do an expedition if he went back into the future and like see if he could find anything that he left. But it really doesn't add much other than certain kind of flavoring and understanding of Claire at a young age, and then setting up stuff that we've already kind of known. It's a weird kind of thing of filling in things that we already kind of know that really doesn't need to be filled in. It's like, okay. So, back in dealing with the kind of present kind of timeline, we see that Lovett is just being a whiny asshole, being like, they shouldn't have done this, nah, 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 nah. It's like, Julia's tried to pretty much like talk his ass down and be like, your son's gonna be king, and then they're gonna have to kiss your ass. And it's like, oh, okay, cool, we're gonna fuck tonight kind of shit. And then pretty much get linked up with Brian's mom. She's like, you gotta get the fuck out of here. And she's like, alright, cool, but this is how we're gonna do it. And then lays out the plan to pretty much have Lovett's right hand man get like conked out by Henry. Henry pops up. They bug off, and then voila. Bug evidently was sent to auto chase this motherfucker around. Lovett's like, hold off. I'll get my man after he's like healed his ass up and like wakes the fuck up, and we'll go with. He's like, I don't answer to you, bitch, and then goes off to pretty much get auto homed in and located in on Henry and Julia and William. We get a little kind of bit where he's like, hey, this baby's awesome, cool, and then they pretty much get to Craig Nadoon. And they're trying to figure out how the kind of stones work. Henry's able to hear the buzzing. Julia, of course, felt that she was pulled into it, but they don't know if the kid's going to travel. So it's like, yeah, we could both go. And then the baby just fucking thunder drops and is just left here by its fucking self. How the fuck is that going to kind of work? It's like, yeah, okay, cool. But the thing is, Bug's able to fucking, like, home in on his ass, like, ain't nobody's business. I mean, I understand that he was probably trying to go there from, like, the previous kind of episodes, but it's just like, all right, cool, whatever. We get certain kind of scenes where they're like searching in the dark, and you almost think that he's about to like find them when they've got like a little fire, but like no, it's like all right, cool. I guess just to show that they're searching, but we've already had scenes of them searching, and we don't get this of like they're closer or whatnot. So we end off their shit with them, Henry taking Julia's hand, Julia holding the baby, and then all three going to the stone and then cutting it off like that. It's like, all right, fine, whatever. Like, their story has been the one that's been the most misfire for me because I do not care about it in the slightest. I mean, I don't want Claire to be not Claire. I don't want Claire to lose her parents like this. But I don't want Julia to get screwed over by Lovett in a fucked up kind of marriage with them. And of course, William gets screwed up. I don't know if this gets to the whole kind of Willie thing in that they both actually like travel somewhere, but the kid doesn't, and then Brian and Ellen raise the kid like that or whatnot. You'll have to see, because I'm really not that interested in it at this point. So we also get teased that somebody is going through with the wedding, but when you're looking at it, you're like, why the fuck are they on the technical groom side? So we pretty much going with Brian and Murtaugh. The assassin motherfuckers pop up. Like, Brian's like, I know. He's more focused on Ellen and being like, her eyes said one thing while her mouth said another. And Murtaugh's like, all right, what did her eyes say? It's like, all right, cool, fine, cool. We'll deal with that shit. You gotta also figure out that we are in trouble here. Assassins are coming for our asses, all right? And then we get the weirdest kind of fight scenes kind of possible, where it's kind of jumpy all over the place. Sometimes, for some reason, the main kind of focus looks like it's attempting to go to Murtaugh's face, but it's mainly on this one dude's kind of shoulder, taking up the bulk of the shot, because you gotta stab the dude, but of course make it look like that they're not, make it look like you're stabbing the dude without actually stabbing the dude. It's just really jerky everywhere. You don't really get much of a sense of character in the kind of fighting sequences. Murtaugh gets shot in the leg and gets wounded, so he gets kind of left at this place that they can just, like, kind of run to. But Brian then decides to go to Leoc, because Murtaugh was going to go first, but of course he gets wounded, so Brian goes into there. And I'm sorry that I keep harping on it, but Jamie's story was pretty kind of simple. And all they had to do was follow that story, expand on it a little bit, and we've been good as gold. This has just complicated the bit where this... Evidently, clan gatherings happen at the drop of a fucking hat anymore, and he takes her out from under the wedding to Grant. And this is done, Gabaldon also helped to write this as well. And I hope she does the, like, prequel books better. I know they're different mediums, but I have more faith in her on the book front, even though I stopped reading the books. That was mainly because of editors being like, listen, you gotta put this stuff in here. And we get like 3 sex scenes in here. One quickie, one with Dougal. Another longer one with Dougal. And then Brian and Ellen. I'm like, alright, fine, cool. Alright. So he pretty much knocks the dude out and puts on Grant's kind of tartan and goes in there. They're also trying to figure out about the whole kind of bladier thing going in, because Grant gets pissed off. Malcolm gets pissed off. Let's go back. We get that McCranach gives the pearls to Ellen. It's like, oh, okay. Fitzgibbon's being all excited, like, oh, I'll take this stitch out later and everything like that. We see her and Yocasta and everything kind of going around with these other things. We see Dougal fucking the handmaiden of this Moira Grant woman. She's like, yeah, I grew up, and you grew up too. And then being like, oh, you're not that enthused with my brother kind of shit. It's like, no, because this is arranged. Who the fuck else would, like... Yeah, we could know people as kids, and your brother could be, like, singing praises of Ellen all the livelong day. That doesn't mean Ellen does or needs to feel the same way about him. She's just doing shit that is going on. Ellen does apologize to Yocasta that she should have consulted her about the match. Also apologizing to her other sister as well, because she's like, yeah, I'm pretty much fucked here. Whatever. Fuck this shit. And I'm like, I don't blame you on taking that kind of route. And Yocasta's pretty much just like, it's no fun if I can't, like, get a rise out of you. And the perennial kind of issue of any kind of troll. You put somebody in a shitty situation, and then they just shut the fuck up, and they can't fucking handle it. It's like, whatever. Thing is, we then get Brian pretty much coming in and trying to, like, get to Ellen, and then is able to talk Yocasta into getting him in there. Him talking about that the Glasgows, the assassins, because he was able to get one dude to figure out who had sent them after him, Colin McKenzie. Brings that up, and I was like, that motherfucker broke his word, so fuck this shit, it's done. And that even kind of, like, helps get Yocasta on her side. It's kind of more kind of convenient that they've gotten back to kind of buddy-buddy, alright, I'll help your ass out with this kind of shit. Mainly because it's the last episode and you have to, at this point, get Ellen and Brian in some kind of way out of this kind of shit. So they pretty much dress her up as like a serving girl. And they're attempting to kind of get out of this kind of shit. However, due to plot contrivances, this is like a big castle, but for... Malkin's pissed off and is yelling at Colum. Colum gets Ned to go get Dougal and tries to fix the situation. What does that fix? Getting him to marry Mora and get that whole kind of thing going on. So before we get younger Malcolm Grant kind of like getting on this kind of shit, and we see that he's drunk, he's pissed off. His uncle is pretty much telling him to get vengeance and take what Ellen held dear. This is pretty much to line up for him going asshole mode later on in the episode, for him to also then meet the consequences of his actions. However, I think it's a little bit expedited pacing-wise to the point of just like, whatever. And then creates more problems than it should, because, okay, they pretty much were just saying that, like, they snuck out and then were found later. Now we get a laird of the clan that they've now married into is now dead. So I guess his uncle fucking takes over that, but I don't know why we don't have a clan war at this point going on before the Jacobite uprising, but what do I know? So we get the whole kind of thing, them getting married. Interesting to see Mora and Dougal kind of working it out. Their sex scene's pretty interesting, where he's able to have her come and he's like, are you alright? Am I hurting you? And she's like, no. You come yet? And he's like, not yet. He's like, alright, let's work on this shit. Pretty much to consummate the marriage and make everything kind of work out. I'm like, interesting? Like, I don't mind their little interactions. It's like one of the kind of highlights of the episode. It's just, I'm here for, like, Brian and Ellen. That's the main kind of story. And when I feel that we have these kind of things that kind of, like, it's all of how this is constructed and executed, where I'm like, I like this thing. It's well done and well executed, but it's taken away all this kind of time, because we then go around and, like, he's got Otto able to, like, find him, and it's like, Ellen, you spared me, blah, 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 and pretty much gets ready to pretty much kill Brian. Brian's like, stop this shit, motherfucker, and, like, they kind of struggle, and then accidentally, like, Otto hearts the motherfucker and kills his ass. It's like, alright, that's probably going to create more problems, but whatever. So they kind of buck out and then meet back up with Murtaugh. Murtaugh is kind of like, listen, I made these for you, and gives the whole tusks thing, and she's like, hey, that's cool, this will be a symbol of our friendship, and all that kind of stuff. And she doesn't shit on Murtaugh's feelings. I like that. That's good character development on both of their sides and kind of moving forward of what's kind of going on. Murtaugh then does the whole buddy-buddy thing, like, I'm going to go hunt. I ain't going to be back till morning. They kind of fuck and try and figure out what to do. And then, of course, they see the burning crosses that the Jacobite uprising is happening. It's like, what do we do? It's like, I don't know. I mean, you killed a laird. I mean, what's one more thing at this point? I mean, if you've got to kind of fucking run for the one thing, might as well run for this whole kind of thing, too. It's like, I don't fucking know. Because the elder Malcolm was like, listen, what's happening here is we're either getting a hand married or getting a head for blood. With the whole Ellen thing. That's why we get the whole Dougal and all that. I wish there'd been more kind of to understand their kind of relationship to each other before this marriage, but it is like the lickety-splittest kind of thing. And I think it's kind of funny that it happens to Dougal. I wish we got more of his thought process of, like, I kind of understand how Ellen feels now. But he kind of lucked out, because I think he was kind of going through every fucking place and fucking every person that he could. So he's like, alright, fine, now I got a piece of ass that's, like, guaranteed. So, man, he really is a horny motherfucker and has nowhere near the depth. Same with Colum in, like, the original Outlander. And that's not just to say that the new one's shit. I'm not on that kind of rationale. These should kind of delve into younger kind of ones, but they're stupid on a level of like, I question how they survived long enough to get to the point where they would be older and more interesting, kind of thing. Ned's the only one that kind of lines up and stays true to themselves, even though they're kind of younger. He's the best kind of example, where he's younger, less experienced, and is trying to like deal and handle with these motherfuckers, but you can see him being the older advisor and trying to figure out things and trying to help out with other things, though he's a smart motherfucker and would have linked Julia, Henry, and all that kind of shit with Claire. He would have. But hey, that's what happens when you retcon shit out of nowhere. So, I don't know if I would recommend this series to Outlander fans. Of the show or of the books. Like, it's not the worst thing ever, but it creates problems for both show watchers and enjoyers and book readers and enjoyers, where it's like, what the fuck's kind of going on? I would almost recommend both of them to wait for Diana Gabaldon's prequel series and handle it on that kind of route, because yeah, if you kind of want to watch it, sure, but I think it's going to be such a vastly different kind of beast potentially that you'd probably be better off with that. That's like if we ever get any kind of ending to Game of Thrones, which I don't think we are, it would be probably, hopefully, vastly different book-wise versus... No, it would be different book-wise versus what goes on show-wise, because there are things that were cut from the books and changed and reconfigured for the show that it completely is a different kind of beast. So hopefully that kind of happens in these kind of books. I don't hate the acting. It's mainly down to content and direction, I believe, on what's kind of going on. Because nobody seems to have just not understood how to like do a certain kind of thing or done anything kind of weirdly. It's mainly down to like there's not really much kind of conducive content done for like Colum and Dougal, Ellen to a majority of an extent. Brian gets the most kind of thing to chew on. Lovett is just like he is a good executed asshole kind of character, but it gets grating because we just keep going in the same kind of circles and motions with the dude. Because I guess they don't know what to do. Even though there's only 10 episodes in here, I feel a lot of pacing issues of things need to be expedited or wheels spinning when they didn't need to be spinning and doing the same things kind of over and over again when we've already pretty much established what's kind of going on with certain kind of things. It's like, what the fuck? So yeah, I'm done with this. It's just what it is. I don't, I wouldn't recommend it on world building, lore building, characters, or action. The action's not the worst kind of bit, but like when you're already not really into it and you do like action and action scenes, and this one was just like, nah, there's even better ones done in like the Outlander show, so I don't get it. So, those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.